I'm Maya Mendoza. I'm in Glasgow, and today we're interviewing Sanjay Shah, who's in Dubai. Sanjay is a highly successful businessman, entrepreneur, and the founder of Autism Rocks. So Sanjay, where are you from and where did you grow up?
I was born in 1970 in central London. The hospital that I was born in is now the Lanesborough Hotel in Hyde Park. And went to school, primary school in Marylebone. At the age of 11, I then went to high school in London as well, a place called City of London School. And I stayed there until I finished my A-levels. The school building is now the JP Morgan headquarters in Europe. And it still says City of London School out on the building.
And what about your parents? Where were they from originally?
They were both born in Kenya, and my grandparents are from India. So I'm obviously Indian. My grandparents moved from India in the 1920s to Kenya. And at that time, both those countries were part of the British Empire. So if you were born in India or Kenya, you would get British citizenship. Well, my father then moved to the UK at a very young age, at the age of 17, to study medicine. So that had been his dream from a young age. He started off at Bournemouth College, he got his A-levels there, and then he actually went to Cambridge University, studied medicine there and qualified there.
Where did you go to university?
At King's College on the Strand. When I finished my A-levels, I then pretty much decided that I wanted to study medicine, given the fact that my dad was a doctor, and I'd had it drilled into me from a young age that being a doctor is the best thing in life. Within a year or so, it dawned on me that I didn't really want to become a doctor. Typically, a junior doctor would be on an 80-hour shift. They would be living in a hospital, and the life wasn't great. I then decided that wasn't for me, and I tried to change some of the content of my degree. So then I took up, for example, psychology, marketing. I even learnt Japanese for 2 years, just to give me a bit of a broader scope when I left.
So being at City of London School, right, do you think you were actually influenced by what you saw then? And perhaps that's what moved you towards finance and banking?
Yep, so from an early age we would have people from the city and also the government come in to give us talks about the economy and politics and so on. It was exciting. It also felt quite isolated because we were the only school in the area. So you had a bunch of schoolboys with their red blazers going out for their sandwiches at lunchtime, surrounded by lawyers, accountants and so on. So it didn't really feel as if we were in a community. It did feel like we were in a business district. I ended up studying chartered accountancy at a couple of firms, BDO, Binder Hamlin, and also KPMG. Having made friends with people who had just qualified and were about to qualify as chartered accountants, I realised that most of those guys were going into the banks. Or another way of looking at it is the big investment banks were sucking in newly qualified lawyers and accountants. So I knew at that stage that that's a good way for me to get into banking rather than trying to study for a banking course.
And when your father heard that you were not going to actually follow through with your medicine degree, how did he react?
They were actually very disappointed that I decided not to become a doctor. They didn't really have a view on me becoming an accountant or working in a bank. They didn't really realise the amount of money that people in banking make.